the Gravekeeper and the Perfumer, and on Sprinter's side we can see that we're gonna have a Bloody Queen in the first round.
All right, can you still hear me, Grizzly?
Yes, I can.
All right, so this is going to be layout number 4. We've seen this before, so no pun intended. And we're going to go right to probably more to the right over here. And we'll see where Sprinter decides to move their character in order to use the mirror. Grizzly, you're quiet.
Sorry, I was focusing before.
No, it's okay. So Sprinter,
I was watching something else.
Beautiful hit on that Gravekeeper already. And this is again why Gravekeeper is so scary. But against a Blood Queen, able to get that second hit with the same mirror. That's a very important point. And we're going to see Sprinter try to follow up. You'll probably see another dig before that happens. Sprinter's going to make a decision here. Do I take down that pallet? Yeah, they're going to dig. Takes him down. Ooh. And this is, yeah, that's very important for Sprinter. There's no more digs now. Already injured once. Let's see what Sprinter's going to do. Excellent mirror to rotate. Gets the hit. That's a very important point for Sprinter. Using Blood Queen on Sacred Heart Hospital. And let's see how this team can adapt.
Want to say it was a great move from the Gravekeeper, throwing down the pallet and trying to dig, trying to make this pallet his friend and getting away from Sprinter. But Sprinter just doing a phenomenal job with the mirrors right here. Early game, Gravekeeper down. Fantastic job. What we can see is that the rest of the team is decoding and just really trying to do more decoding and rescue the Gravekeeper before he goes out of the game, but not trying to rescue right away.
Because good call out, Grizzly. What they're going to do is they focus on decoding, and that's a beautiful blink. They focus on decoding instead of going in for a first rescue to really try to set themselves up for a tie. That is a higher tier strategy, and it's the right call to make. And gets the hit, and this is going to be an elimination already.
Phenomenal job, Sprinter, really bringing down. Okay, okay. I think everyone saw that, right? Sprinter bringing down the Gravekeeper yet again. Great hit, great discipline, and as you already mentioned, this will be the first survivor out of the game. There are still 4 Cypher machines remaining, and Mercenary already took that. We can see that Sprinter probably utilizing the mirror right here, trying to get over there to... Who are we seeing right here? It is the Perfumer.
Yep, this is the worst Cypher in the entire game, in my opinion. There's not a Cypher that's worse than this, in my opinion. But anyways, and you can get away with it as a Perfumer, by the way. It can help you transition. But it should be noted that the reason why Sprinter decided to blink on that Mercenary, if you blink and hit the Mercenary right away, you force that Mercenary to go in for a rescue instead of allowing that Mercenary to dance around for another 20 or 30 seconds. Excellent hit from Sprinter.
We also have to mention that with that hit, he was still able to utilize the mirror to bring down or to land another hit right after the rescue. And we have the Perfume on the chair. Mercenary got healed up. They have 3 Cypher machines remaining. This is an extremely difficult situation for the survivors because they need 1 survivor to rescue. They have 1 survivor on the chair, and that means that there's only 1 survivor remaining on the Cypher machine. And what we can see is that Sprinter is putting pressure on exactly that survivor. So right now, there's not a single survivor on the Cypher machines. Ooh, that's a really difficult situation.
Sprinter can't relax here, though. Sprinter needs to still get this 4-person elimination. And Sprinter knows that, too. You got to set up your survivors for a situation where they can just get a 1 person out of the gate. And he knows that, and so he's not going to get too relaxed on this. Excellent mirror. But I've seen perfect mirror placements from Sprinter every single time. So, and really, we got to see how GoldSmith is able to adapt to this. They're doing the best that they can. They had a good early game strategy in terms of adapting and focusing on the Cyphers. That's why they were able to get down to these 2 Cyphers, and they're doing the best that they can to really be able to catch up on this Cypher decoding And Sprinter's aware of that, and you can see that he's going to stay on top of this mercenary as 2 survivors have been eliminated, and really needs to make sure nobody can escape.
Yes. And what we can see right here is the mercenary will.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Mercenary went down, and Sprinter is concentrating on finding the priestess at this point because, again, Sprinter has the time to find the remaining survivor, and even if the mercenary gets up by himself, he is able to follow up with another hit on the mercenary. But great job from the priestess going for the rescue. You have the mercenary up and running right here. But again, difficult situation. 2 survivors are left, and what you can see right here, both of the survivors are kind of getting hunted down at the same time. Not a single survivor is decoding. What they are planning right now is to at least bring 1 survivor through the dungeon, because you already mentioned it. Sprinter wants to go for the 4 survivor elimination to set up their survivor team, to set up before use survivor team, that they only have to get 1 survivor out of there. And GoldSmith is trying to prevent exact that. There we go. Priestess is down. Fantastic job. We have the mercenary decoding the cipher machine. The cipher machine was wiggling. I think Sprinter saw that the mercenary was on that cipher machine, but it's still roaming around.
What Sprinter did is when he got that first hit on the priestess, he rotated his camera because he understood that the other character would still be decoding. And once he took down the priestess, he already knew where the cipher was wiggling instead of waiting for it, because a lot of survivors will get off of that cipher on the second hit to prevent the camera rotation trick. And that's why it's important to rotate your camera on the first hit.
What we can see right here is that they are close to the dungeon. Again, they are trying to get at least 1 survivor through the dungeon. That's what they want to do. We also have the priestess decoding right there. If they're able to actually bring down 2 cipher machines to pop the last cipher machine. Phenomenal hit, phenomenal hit. That's gonna put the survivors into a really difficult situation, because now priestess is down. We have the dungeon, the basement right there as well.
Not much you can do in that situation. GoldSmith did the best that they could to adapt to that situation. Hats off to them. Good job from B4U. Sprinter coming out here. Interesting strategy from B4U. They put Sprinter out first, but before they had KKZ come out first. So they're really showing their flexibility and that dynamic ability of showing we have 2 very good hunters, and we're letting you know. And it's going to really depend on that game play. Do we see a blink first? Do we see a patroller? Do we see a switch to blink for guaranteed kills? Or do we see the abnormal depending on what the cipher layout's going to be?
Absolutely.
What did I say, Grizzly?
We are going to see what layout we can expect, and that's what you're telling us right now.
So this is layout number 5. They're going to go towards the shack area. There's 2 survivors who spawn relatively close to this area. One's going to stay over here by shack, and one's going to transition over by hospital. And so we're going to see how Paul Blums works. We've seen him do a 5 cipher kite before, and he's already transitioned and understanding what's going to happen.
Great job from the Dreamage right here. She already found the mechanic. She also, I think, or at least I believe, she saw the doll, so she knows the location of the doll. And that's gonna be extremely interesting. You just mentioned it. Portland was able to kite for extremely long, and here we see the same thing we already have seen before. We see the priestess portals, we see Milek preparing all these portals for Portlands or for any other survivor that has to kite around, to just give the survivors more time to for decoding.
Paul Blums understands one of the best ways to kite a dream, which is not to stay in the same location. We've seen people make that mistake in the tournament. The best way to kite a dream witch is to continue making sure that you transition, but transition in an area that you can still continue to kite because of the leech. And we can see that that's exactly what happened. However, I believe Mechanic is going to have a leech on them, so they got to be a little careful in that area. And I can't remember, did they take the doll down or no? I don't know. They didn't take the doll down, so Mechanic still has a weapon available to them.
That is right, that is right. And what we saw right there is the global portal just to...
Yeah, Polblums is going to continue kiting, knowing that this Dream Witch is really focusing on the Mechanic. That's a good move from the Dream Witch. Didn't lose track of him. And excellent job. And we're going to see how... Oh, beautiful hit from the Dream Witch right there.
And there we go. We hear
I think Polblums was expecting a blink over the pallet, and that's why he went kind of double backed a little bit. Great discipline from the Dream Witch there to get that hit.
Oh no, that was the leech. I thought the forward was coming in. Forward was there as well, and what we saw was that the Dream Witch was putting down another leech to counter the forward right there. Being able to bring the Mechanic to the rocket chair is one good thing, but as you already mentioned, the doll was still up, so the doll is basically still in the game, decoding a Cypher machine right now for the team, which is extremely good for the survivors, and we can see that everyone is pretty much concentrating on decoding except of Schmidty, who is coming in for the rescue. Taking the hit. Good job, good rescue. Utilizing
excellent blink. Excellent blink.
Not able to hit right away, but connecting with the second swing. And
as long as it hits, that's all that matters. It doesn't need to be perfect. You blink, I don't care how it looks. You get the hit, it worked. That's all I care about. And that's what that blink did right there. Excellent blink.
So what we can see is that there are leeches on Cypher machines as well to just slow down the progress of this team. But we are already down to 2 Cypher machines. We still have the Mechanic down there. I think I saw the forward being ready to try to make the rescue.
No, he shouldn't stun. He did the right decision there. If you try to set yourself up for a stun, you're just going to get hit, and then it forces you to do an early rescue. This is a difficult thing that a lot of forwards still struggle with, even forward mains, is that they still try to do those ridiculous stuns. That works on a lot of the other hunters, but with a Dream Witch, you got to make sure you have a discipline. So that bought him at least another 20 seconds or so. Excellent body block. He needs to do a stun here because now he has the Tide Turner activated on him. That was a very important moment. The ability for forward to be disciplined, not to do the stun prematurely for no significant reason with 2 minions, or rather a follower and a leech, and also being able to get the body block. That right there changed the entire game from that forward's usage. And this Dream Witch is doing a very good job.
Was able to find 2 survivors on the Cypher machine, so scaring them off, just having the leech on the Cypher machine that has been decoded for over a half and is now...
But Gaming Grizzly, if I may say so real quickly, look at how much they spread out these machines. Look at these machines that are still, look at how much they're spread out. And that's what they decided to do. They understood we're going against the Dream Witch. We need to rotate early game successfully to make sure that there are no layouts within the Cypher machines that make sure that they're right on top of each other, and that's going to be difficult for this Dream Witch to manage.
Very right, very right. And what we can see is that I think Schmidty is going in for the rescue. We have a leech right there, but since Schmidty is the mercenary, he can absorb a hit and not go down immediately. And there comes that hit, rescuing the forward. Forward was, oh, good job, good job. Forward dashing away right there, taking his time, taking a bit of his football, because he needed to get out there. If the forward was taking the hit, he would have been out of the game. So they are basically taking turns on the rocket chairs right now to allow the rest of the team to decode. And here we can see the Priestess coming in. Priestess can also still take a hit. Pretty much doing a great job.
Dreamwitch is doing a great job of slowing this down. Beautiful Terror Shock against the forward. Excellent Terror Shock. That changes the entire match layout. That was one of the most important moves of this entire game.
You can now see that the forward is out of the game. Out of the game, we can see that they are decoding. I think the Cypher Machine's at 70%, but they have to spread out because the Hunter is coming. They are trying, I think, to gather around the same Cypher Machine to just bring as much decoding to one Cypher Machine as possible. Oh, that one is already, it's almost primed. There we go.
They popped it. They're not going to waste time. They got to pop it like that. That blink and that Terror Shock against the forward was just absolutely amazing. Excellent job from the Dream Witch. That puts that puts the Dream Witch back into the match here. And remember, this is very difficult for the Dream Witch. Sacred Heart is more of a survivor-based map, in my opinion, and also they're putting the almost impossible task of trying to get a 4-man elimination, and that puts that takes pressure off of B4U. Your ability to play a map with less pressure is a luxury. And now Mercenary is going to get out, and I believe that's going to secure the match for him. Is that correct?
That is correct. As you already said, Mercenary was taking the hit, but was able to open up the gate before taking the hit, and that means that he is basically waiting there trying, securing that first round for team before you. We now have the rest of the team trying to get out of there as well. We have problems circling around the dungeon, hoping for my leg to make it out through the gate.
My leg is going to wait there. My leg understands that I got portals up, and I'm going to wait for detention. Again, even though B4U got somebody eliminated, or somebody out of the map, they're going to still take the map seriously. They're not just going to joke around, and they're going to do the best that they can to try to get as many people out of this match as possible.
The Dream Witch obviously knows. Oh, nice!
Wow,
blink.
that would have been
Almost.
amazing. That would have been a highlight reel for sure. Can you imagine if that connected? I would have lost my mind. I would have lost my mind.
I was already surprised when I saw the blink. I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a hit," but wasn't really able to connect. Yeah.
What the survivors are doing right now, they're waiting out detention. That's what they're doing. They're going to be patient. They're going to take their time in this area, and they're going to make them move when they need to. Can we still see? I don't think we can see the traits, can we? I actually don't know. I can't see their eyes, and I don't know if the traits show up in the upper left-hand corner.
I think it actually. I think detention is already over.
Is it over? All right, there we go. They got the 3-person escape. Excellent discipline from B4U. Good job, Dream Witch. That's a very difficult match against very, very good survivors. Hats off to that Dream Witch, and really secured a beautiful blink Terror Shock. Making a name for themselves, Gaming Grizzly. They are making a name for themselves. They're going against a very, very, very strong team, and they're making a name for themselves, letting people know, hey, we're here. This is a new name that you may not be familiar with, but we are, and remember this name after this tournament. And I think they've done a great job. And remember, this is a very difficult spawn point for at least some hunters like Photographer. This is spawn point number 2, although this isn't that detrimental to a Dream Witch. And we see this transition over to what we refer to as Water Jug.
Great job finding a survivor quite early in the game, and that is a great usage of the leeches, and really trapping, really. Oh, good job, good discipline from the Enchantress. She was trapped between 2 leeches, was able to juke 2 hits right there, and to get distance between the Hunter and herself by throwing down that pellet without taking a hit. Good job from KKC finding the Enchantress so early in the match, but you have to say, Enchantress doing a great job giving the team more time.
Definitely so. That was very impressive from that Enchantress. Bought a lot of time for their survivors. And another thing to remember with this sort of matchup, this is not a slow decoding team. This is not that typical Gravekeeper Mercenary forward builds. So they're going to have to be very careful in regards to, or rather the hunter has to be very careful with how long it takes to take down a survivor, because they're not going to have that slow decoding time. And so this kite is very important for GoldSmith. They're doing a good job.
They are
Beautiful blink.
They are really doing a great job, and here we can see that the Enchantress was taken down by the blink of the leech right here. Fantastic job. They are able to decode quite some cipher machines, though. They are down to 3 ciphers at this point. Again, we need to mention that Bloody Queen can be extremely dangerous late game. We also have to say that GoldSmith is doing a great job right here.
Yeah, and they're doing, GoldSmith right now is doing a good job trying to take down what we call that box cipher, because there's some ciphers that are really close to each other, and so they got to take down one of them or it's going to be a nightmare later on. Beautiful hit.
Good hit. Gravekeeper was not able to rescue the Enchantress right away, and that was giving the leech time again to hit the Enchantress right away. She's now going down within 20 seconds thanks to Tide Turner. And we have the Dream Witch, KKC, still putting pressure on the Gravekeeper as well. He's already damaged. And just putting the leech right there, making him move a little bit and getting him away from cipher machines.
Is to make sure that they can get this here. Good job from KKZ. And remember, that's what makes Dream Witch so difficult to go against. Is that even if you have a decent early game, it's that late game that a good, solid Dream Witch can prevent and make a nightmare. And that's the difference between this hunter versus virtually every other hunter. Most other hunters, unless you stop the rescue, when there's a 2-cipher kite, you're usually fighting for the tie, depending on certain circumstances, not all the time. However, with a Dream Witch, they can still 4-person kill you, and yep, Enchantress is eliminated.
It was a great hit, hitting the Prospector as well. Prospector is down, Leech was disappearing. And as you just said, Enchantress is down. We can see that KKC is probably coming in with the Leech before the Prospector is able to get up. Still protecting the cipher machines, putting pressure on the rest of the survivors. You can see that they are running around.
This is where the rescues become a little bit more difficult. If I was in, Perfumer's going to have to go in there, and if they decide to. The question is do you go in for that rescue? I mean, you probably should. Yep, Perfumer's going in for that rescue, and this Perfume's going to tell us a lot about what happens. They're going to leave this right here and then go back. Yep, here we go. This is an important moment.
Good
hit off before the Perfume.
Great job, was waiting out the Perfume exactly, and we have the Prospector getting away right there. Ooh! Nice prediction from the Perfumer, just vaulting over the pallet again, predicting that blink to come through, dodging that hit. Really, really nice. You can see Dream Witch is going for the Gravekeeper now, just putting these leeches on the map, just putting pressure on the survivors, and just slowing down the decoding speed. There we go. Gravekeeper was not able to counter.
Beautiful
the blink, was taking the hit. And again,
still at that 2 ciphers. Yep. We both thought the same thing. Late game on this map for a Dream Witch, very, very difficult to go against for sure. Let's see the movements here. We got somebody on that rocket chair, Gravekeeper down, Prospector, Perfumer, they're both one-shots.
Okay.
trying to blend into the
container
there. Yeah. Let's see what they're going to do here. Gets the hit against the Prospector. I can't see the Perfumer. Oh yeah, she's
Perfumer
behind.
Decoding. She's in the bottom left. Look at the bottom left. She's still decoding.
Mm-hmm. And that's oh, I see. The webcam thing, I moved it over there. No matter where I move this thing, it's the wrong spot.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting again. Oh, there comes the patroller. We have the Gravekeeper out of the game. I think Prospector can get up again. So that might buy the team a little bit more time. But Perfumer is down. Prospector is up at the same time. Again, we can see that KKC is just leaving these survivors on the ground. Putting a leech right next to the Perfumer just in case she gets up. Good job. And really trying to make this 4 survivor elimination happen. Because again, this is a tournament situation, which means if they are eliminating 4 survivors, that means that they are able to get to secure 5 points.
Which again will be very difficult. Which will be very difficult for the other hunter to secure a 4-man. I mean, that's a very difficult task. And, you know, the other hunter is also a Dream Witch main, and Dream Witch is now going to be banned. So you most likely be able to see a Wu Chang, unless there's a trick up their sleeve and they use a Blood Queen. If that hunter has a lot of experience with Blood Queen, not all. Remember on NAEU, not everybody has. You know, a lot of these specialty hunters stick with their hunters, and so we'll see how this is going to play out. Good job from the Prospector buying a little bit more time.
Perfumer got up, Perfumer got up, and we can see. Good job. Good job. We had the Dream Witch coming through. She saw that the Perfumer was getting up, was trying to hit her right away. But before getting up, the Perfumer was actually slowly moving towards the window, so she could get a little bit of a gap between the hunter and herself. Oh, that's gonna be mind game, and she got bit by the patroller, and that might actually be extremely difficult for her to avoid an additional hit.
And now Perfumer cannot get back up, so once they get this, he's gonna patrol her with the main body, and now it's the main spawn follower. This is the main follower that you start the match with is gonna come up here, get this hit, and then what they're going to do is probably try to...
Good job, good job.
Good job. Good job from the Prospector. Going to leech. Good job from the Prospector. You can see that I have so much respect for this. Not giving up, going in, doing the best that you can to buy as much time as you can. This is awesome. I like seeing this sort of gameplay.
Same, and what the Prospector is trying to do is he is trying to buy himself enough time to pretty much let his teammate, the Perfumer, bleed out, so the dungeon opens up, so he can escape through the dungeon. It's gonna be extremely difficult, especially with all the leeches on the map, and...
You can see KKZ showing that sort of respect where, like, you know, you start doing that graffiti like that, it's like, alright, good job, you're doing an awesome job. That's exactly what KKZ is trying to communicate there. Look at this Prospector, still alive. Yeah. This is awesome.
It's a difficult situation.
Hats off to that Prospector. Good job, Prospector. You bought a whole bunch of time for your team. That was awesome. Good job using your magnets and getting the stuns necessary, kiting from one side of the map to the other, and of course, good job KKZ showing the destructive nature, and of course, excellent job from the enchantment. Oh, we see the Bloody Queen. There we go.
Yep, get at least one survivor out of there, or to get all survivors back to the manor.
Here we are.
All right,
Bloody Queen on this map.
That's your time. Yeah. I wanted to announce you, but never mind.
No, we're good. This is group layout number 1, actually, and usually they either go towards box or they go straight. If they go straight, there's 2 people who spawn in this relative location by shack, and it's going to depend on their rotation levels, and they're predicting that, so we're going to see how this Bloody Queen does. My leg.
Great job finding the mechanic so early in the game. I did not see if the mechanic was actually putting down the doll already. Oh, that's good, that's good.
That was an excellent job from the Blood Queen predicting where the mechanic was going to try to hide. And very good prediction. And that's going to put them in a very dangerous spot.
Nice hit. Really, really good job. Let's see if we can hear the... Yeah, mechanic is using the doll right now, so he was able to put down the doll. Fantastic job from Milek, but also fantastic job from the Bloody Queen. Yeah, the Bloody Queen. Bringing down the mechanic so early in the game. Again, mechanic is one of the crucial survivor when it comes to the coding, so just bring her down is great way on slowing down the decoding on the survivor side. But again, then we also have the mechanic stall that is currently decoding a cipher machine. And we can also see that the Gravekeeper Schmitty is coming through, coming in for the rescue. Taking the hit, great rescue, mechanic is off the chair.
It was good discipline from the Gravekeeper there. And so my leg knew that they were going to get hit, so what they're doing right now is focusing on that decoding and focusing on the ability to really get these cipher machines down and relocate into this corner. It's going to take about 7 to 10 seconds for them to get to the rocket chair.
Great shot from my leg.
Yeah.
Just instead of running away and basically wasting time because he knew that he would go down eventually, he was just straight up using the mechanic stall and straight up focusing on decoding right there. And that wasn't a great call, that was a great move. Even if it meant that he would take the hit right away.
Yeah, but this Bloody Queen is doing an amazing job. Mechanic down twice like that already, and they don't have that cipher done yet is a very important point, and it's going to come down to this forward. This forward's going to really try to buy some time. Here's that stun. Wow, tried to predict it too. Forward able to get that, and now he's going to go for another stun. Goes for another stun, and really hoping that the mechanic loses this Blood Queen right here.
Let's see what... Ooh, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. If the Bloody Queen can bring down the mechanic, and I think, yeah, Bloody Queen sees the mechanic right there. If the mechanic is going down again, there will be no way for her to get away, except if the Ford is coming in with a stun, but we also have to see the Ford is already down.
Yeah, but Bloody Queen's got blink, you got to be careful.
Ooh, there comes exactly that blink, just catching up right there.
Mechanic buying as much time as what they can right now. This wasn't that bad because it bought a lot of time for the mechanic to continue kiting instead of getting hit with Tide Turner. They need one survivor out, but this Bloody Queen doing a good job making sure not losing track of that mechanic despite what the forward did. And they're down to one cipher, and really B4U just needs one person out.
That was... I didn't even see that there was only one cipher machine remaining. That was extremely fast. Again, we had the doll decoding most of the time while the mechanic was on the chair, really helping this team to decode down to one cipher machine right here. What we can see is that Bloody Queen definitely is not trying to get the forward. She knows that the forward still has... Oh, cipher pop happened! Good job on B4U! Just the communication, just telling their teammates that, okay, Dreamwitch is not anywhere close to anyone, so therefore we can just pop it and split up. One survivor goes to the one gate, the other two survivors go to the other gate. Again, they only one survivor out of there, and they know that. And therefore having different survivors at different gates, that makes it extremely difficult for the Bloody Queen to catch up.
He has a lot of football love, so he should be able to use this to his advantage.
Ooh! Was just getting a little bit of distance. There we go, forward goes down, but again we can see the exit gate is open right now. We have two survivors leaving, Gravekeeper and Perfumer. That means this match is going to end up in a tie as soon as the forward is hitting the chair. And that also means that round number 2 was decided by B4U yet again. Phenomenal match, great job from the Dreamwitch, not the Dreamwitch, the Bloody Queen, and it was such a good thing for her to find the mechanic early.